So, Italy has suspended its border-free travel arrangements with Spain following the arrival of around 60,000 migrants into the Spanish enclave of Ceuta from Morocco. The Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, says she was safeguarding national security. France has tripled the number of police officers at its border with Spain in response to the situation. Spain's Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, called the people arriving an attack on Spain's national integrity. Andy Burnham has pledged support to the Spanish government. Let's speak now to David Sharrock, reporter for The Times in Spain. David, good morning.
Good morning, Rosie.
Can we just start with the situation as it is now this morning? Without anywhere to go, eat, sleep, Spanish officials say more than 48,000 people had actually voluntarily left to go back to Morocco. Do we know how many people are left?
No, we don't. All the figures are estimates, and they don't actually correspond that closely. So the Spanish Interior Ministry has been putting out figures which are being disputed by the local administration in Ceuta as underestimates. According to the Spanish Interior Ministry, 50,000 Moroccans entered on Thursday, and by last night, 48,300 had left. So that leaves only 1,700, but the picture isn't that clear this morning. According to local sources, there are at least 7,000, mostly young, very young Moroccans still wandering aimlessly around Ceuta, sleeping in parks, trying to find water and bread or something to eat.
And, I mean, it looks a total mess there. You know, there's inflatables left all over the place. It's also been, I think, a pretty frightening experience for the residents there who've had, you know, people barging into shops, people desperate for food, desperate for places to stay. What's been the advice to the residents of Ceuta?
Yeah, it has been a very traumatic situation. I think the situation at the moment is that most Ceutis are just not going out. They're staying inside. They've been advised to keep off the streets. One of the reasons why so many of Moroccans have returned is that everything is shut down. So all the shops are closed. And in fact, this weekend, the Ceuta is supposed to start a week of its annual feria, its fair to celebrate its patron saint, and that has been cancelled as well.
Yeah, lots of speculation really about how this was orchestrated, how it was that in 24 hours so many people made that journey. What are the theories, the best examples of how this all happened?
This is a question which is going to puzzle people for weeks, if not years. And there are certainly plenty of theories already circulating. The one that was put forward by Prime Minister Sanchez, the Spanish Prime Minister, when he visited Ceuta yesterday, he blamed it all on Mafia gangs, human smugglers. But really, when you take a cold look at that, it doesn't adequately explain what happened. And it was noticeable that Sanchez also avoided making any criticisms of the Moroccan government, which is clearly culpable in this, because it's impossible to imagine a buildup of so many people. We're talking about tens of thousands of people right on the border with what is effectively, what it is Europe's southern border with Africa. So Spain and Morocco have difficult relationships from time to time, and Morocco, it likes to flex its muscles to show that it's in charge, particularly of migratory flows, which has a big influence on Spanish foreign policy.
Yeah.
Last time it happened was 4 years ago, when nearly 10,000 Moroccans flooded into Ceuta. And as a direct consequence of that, Spain changed its long-term policy on recognition of Western Sahara, which is now occupied by Morocco, and has basically fallen in step with Morocco's plans for that area.
But any idea about how it was that such a mass movement of people was organised in such a short space of time?
Well, there were a couple of contributory factors this week. It also took place on the 27th anniversary of the rise of the accession to power of King Mohammed VI of Morocco. So that is curious in its own right. There's some speculation that the Moroccan security forces, because of that event, that party was a national holiday on the day, lowered their guard. Also, that just speaking with Moroccans who were in Ceuta yesterday, and many were talking about getting messages via their mobile phones saying that the border had been dropped and that you could freely walk in. Who was sending those messages? It's not at all clear yet.
Because I think that some of the confusion is, what were they told they would then be able to do once they reached Ceuta? Was it that they'd be able to claim asylum there or somehow get access into Spain? That part of the story feels harder to understand.
Yeah, well, I think that is clearly the intention for most Moroccans, is that they want to leave Morocco and get to Europe, and this is a European frontier right on their doorstep. So that would be the first step, and they imagined that once they're inside Spain, they can claim asylum, and from there would be transferred, as is the case. I mean, there is a policy normally in circumstances not as extreme as this. There is an asylum process which processes several thousand Moroccans every year who eventually, having claimed asylum, are transferred over to the Spanish mainland. And from there, quite a few of them make their way to family members in France, Belgium, and the Netherlands.
For the people who haven't gone back to Morocco, will Spain grant them asylum?
Well, that is the great unanswered question right now. In some cases, yes, they will, I suppose, because there were already, before the events of the past 2 or 3 days, there were already more than 1,000 Moroccans seeking asylum in Ceuta. It can be a lengthy process. Legally, a lot of checks need to be made. So how this additional number, which is, I'm estimating it at about 7,000 now at the moment, will get on, depends very much on the lengthy process of legalisation.
Yeah. Tell us how other European countries have been responding. We've got Giorgia Meloni, the Italian Prime Minister, saying, I'm going to suspend the border free travel arrangements with Spain. You've got France tripling the number of police officers at the border with Spain. I mean, in reality, it looks pretty unlikely that the migrants who broke through that border to get to Ceuta will then make it to France, for example, or Italy. I mean, there's obviously a significant body of water between them. They'd have to fly there. What does it tell us about Europe's view, or European government's view, of illegal migration in terms of how they've responded to this?
Yeah, it's Italy's decision to suspend Schengen for Spain for 1 month is politically symbolic more than anything else. Clearly, none of these recent arrivals into Ceuta are going to get further than Ceuta. Most of them have gone back. But it's more sending a very clear and public message to Spain and its government that this cannot be tolerated. It's an international embarrassment to see an external border of Europe collapse in this way. And I think there is also the factor that Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister of Italy, is from a far-right party which is very anti-immigration, has strong links to Spain's third largest party, called Vox, which campaigns very hard on these issues as well.
Thank you so much for your time, David. David Sharrock, Times reporter in Spain, on just the details of that absolutely extraordinary 48 hours or so in Ceuta.